In the contemporary romance novel Too Good to Be True by Kristan Higgins, the protagonist faces the challenge of dealing with her ex-fiancé dating her younger sister. To avoid the sympathy and awkwardness from her family, Grace decides to fabricate a new boyfriend and keep her family from discovering the truth. The book received the prestigious Rita Award for Best Contemporary Single-Title Romance in 2010. Kristan Higgins, a renowned author and graduate of the College of the Holy Cross, brings her expertise in English and her background in advertising, marketing, and public relations to her writing. Set in Peterson, Connecticut, the story follows Grace Emerson, an English teacher at a private high school, who is dissatisfied with her life despite her love for her job. With Andrew, her ex-fiancé, now dating Natalie, her younger sister, Grace feels the weight of pity and a sense of inadequacy. At a family dinner, Grace's discomfort intensifies as she is seated between Andrew and Natalie, witnessing their love for each other. Her parents try to maintain a facade of normalcy to prevent any conflicts, but the situation becomes increasingly uncomfortable for everyone involved. While Grace recognizes Natalie's qualities as a great sister, she can't help but resent the relationship between Natalie and Andrew. Fed up with the sympathetic glances and well-meaning gestures, Grace concocts a story about a new man in her life named Wyatt. She portrays him as a successful pediatric surgeon with an impressive house, a fancy car, and irresistible charm. However, her fabricated boyfriend becomes the center of attention, with everyone eager to meet him. The problem is that Wyatt doesn't actually exist. When Natalie insists on Grace bringing him to the next family dinner, Grace tries to dodge the invitation by claiming Wyatt's busy schedule and involvement in medical research make it impossible for him to attend family gatherings. With the pressure mounting and the wedding approaching, Grace knows she can only delay the truth for so long. While her parents are happy that she seems to have moved on, it's becoming increasingly difficult for Grace to witness Andrew and Natalie's blossoming love. Their connection is undeniable, and they make a conscious effort to spare Grace's feelings. To add to her frustration, Andrew proposes to Natalie, and the wedding plans move forward swiftly. If Grace doesn't find a real boyfriend soon, she'll be attending the wedding alone. Feeling desperate, she delves into the dating scene, flirting with various men, but nothing seems to click. Meanwhile, Natalie inquires about Wyatt's attendance at the wedding, and Grace continues to feign his unavailability due to his demanding work schedule. She suspects that Natalie may have her suspicions, but the topic is left unexplored. In the midst of her search for a suitable companion, Grace crosses paths with her new neighbor, Callahan. Having recently been released from prison, Callahan is determined to turn his life around in a respectable neighborhood. Grace's family holds prejudiced assumptions about him, assuming he's a criminal masquerading as a law-abiding citizen. Initially, Grace shares their reservations, believing that someone as attractive and charming as Callahan couldn't possibly be a good match for her, so she thinks. Grace confides in Callahan about Wyatt, and she notices a tinge of jealousy in his reaction. Although she feels guilty, Grace believes she has no other choice but to maintain the ruse. Dating Callahan is out of the question, and she's not ready to pretend she's broken up with Wyatt. However, as Grace and Callahan develop a strong friendship, she finds herself wishing she could invite him to the wedding. Their bond deepens, and Callahan reveals the truth about his time in prison. He was wrongly convicted of embezzlement and took the blame to protect his brother. Now, he rarely sees his own family, and Grace begins to see Callahan in a different light. Despite Callahan's lingering love for his brother, he carries a deep resentment for the way he has been treated. This resonates with Grace, as she realizes that someone else understands the complex mix of love and resentment that can exist between siblings. Just as Grace's feelings for Callahan begin to intensify, he discovers the truth about Wyatt's non-existence. Confronting Grace about her lies, he expresses his disappointment and declares that he wants nothing to do with her. Devastated, Grace comprehends the pain she has caused Callahan and deeply regrets her actions. Meanwhile, the day of Natalie's wedding arrives, but Andrew unexpectedly calls it off. He confesses that he doesn't love her and cannot go through with the marriage. Filled with anger, Grace confronts Andrew and delivers a punch before turning her attention to console her sister. In the midst of the chaos, Callahan reappears and apologizes to Grace for storming out on her. Understanding the magnitude of her mistakes, Grace reveals the truth about Wyatt to Natalie, seeking forgiveness and honesty. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.